So Ty Smith, the only real news of the day, but we felt like getting a little bit more of an inside scoop about what's going on around the National Hockey League. And for that, we bring in NHL Network insider Chris Johnson. But we got to start with the beard, CJ, because I just said to Dano, it kind of looks a little like Joe Thornton-esque, right? With a little hint of the gray in there.
Yeah, I'm showing my age. I'm trying to follow my mentor here, Elliot Friedman, and rock the summer beard. So
you're looking good. You're looking good, Chris.
It's Dano approved, apparently. All right, well, let's start this conversation with Erik Karlsson. I mean, it was just about a month ago that everyone thought he was going to be dealt. It seemed like there was going to be a deal in place, or it was imminent, the word that people like to toss around. But that obviously didn't pan out. What's the latest on his situation and what the Sens are doing with him?
Well, given that we're now this deep into the summer and the offers have been what they are, I mean, certainly Ottawa has had a lot of time and a lot of conversations to gauge the market on Erik Karlsson. You know, it's much more likely than not at this point that we're going to see him in camp come September 13th with the Ottawa Senators. Certainly the organization feels comfortable bringing him back. They don't have an internal belief that they have to trade him before the players report for medicals, even before the regular season starts in October. And while you know, I think that we're going to continue to hear about this storyline as the season goes along because he is in the final year of that deal, and I would expect they will trade him by the trade deadline if he isn't signed to extension before then. You know, everything's kind of cooled off and gone to the back burner now, and you know, the way the Senators are approaching these next couple of weeks is that he'll be there on the first day, and he'll still be the captain and kind of in his normal role for the time being.
And have you heard, or do you know which teams are sort of in play for Erik Karlsson? Is it the same teams that we heard about around the trade deadline, or excuse me, around free agency? What teams are in the mix for Erik Karlsson realistically?
Well, there's three that are, you know, obvious and have been there, and I think are still there to varying degrees: the Dallas Stars, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know, while there's the possibility of other teams maybe lurking around the margins of this, I think because of the unique aspect of this, a player like this doesn't get moved too often. You know, the fact he is going into a free agent year, you know, some of these teams have had a chance to talk to Erik Karlsson's camp earlier in the summer about what it might take to extend him. The market isn't as big. I mean, the list of teams that would love to have him goes 30 deep in the NHL. But just because of the kind of trade pieces you have to give up, and you know, really we're looking at contending teams that would be the ones in the market for him. I think it's still those big three chasing Erik Karlsson.
Chris, a couple of youngsters, stars in the National Hockey League already. Auston Matthews with the Leafs and Patrik Laine with the Winnipeg Jets. Any extension talk for these guys? And I know that's a tricky situation sometimes with bridge deals and things, but obviously guys of their magnitude, you would expect them to get extensions in the future or not?
Well, certainly for the top two picks in that 2016 draft, Dano, we have had some conversations going on, but it's a little bit of a different approach than we saw last summer when both Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel were signed to 8-year extensions before entering their third season on their entry-level deal. You know, nothing is imminent either at this time with Matthews or Laine. And, you know, I think there's a possibility here that one or both of these guys actually gets into the season without signing that contract. And you know, it's a bit of an interesting bet if that's what plays out here from the teams, because you're talking about two of the best goal scorers in the league since they've entered the NHL. You're giving them now their third season where they're more experienced and likely to have better seasons than they've already had in their first two. And you know, if that were the case, they'd put themselves in a pretty good position next summer to cash in even more. So there's sort of that balance that teams are striking with players. But I do think it's interesting here as we're getting to the end of August that neither of these players has signed an extension. I think there's been a little bit more talk on the Matthews front than you've had with Laine and the Winnipeg Jets. And, you know, while there's no deadline looming, they can play out this season. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if the teams don't sign these guys, they risk the fact that they could have monster seasons and be worth even more come next summer.
Yeah, it gets scary quick, doesn't it, though, for fan bases? Let's stick with the Toronto Maple Leafs, because it's almost 2 months ago now that they get John Tavares in what was the biggest story of this offseason. What is the vibe like in Toronto right now?
Well, without question, this is the most hype that any Leafs season has had, certainly in the 16 years that I've been around this team in a professional capacity. I mean, you see it sort of anecdotally in the city. I was out at a PGA Tour event outside Toronto a few weeks ago, and I saw a couple guys walking around in Tavares jerseys in the July heat. You know, even visited Vancouver last week on a vacation and had a couple people approach me and say they haven't been this excited for a season. I mean, look, when you're talking about the top centers in the game, the Leafs now have two of the top guys, and only a handful of teams can say that with Matthews and John Tavares. And there would have been excitement anyway with the way this team has trended, but to sign a player like him, I don't think fans totally believe it. You get the big splash on July 1st, and here we are weeks later. You haven't really seen more of this, but the anticipation is building, and certainly I think come September and into October, probably everyone around the league is going to be tired about hearing about the Leafs.
Chris, veteran Rick Nash, still undecided whether he's going to play. He's a free agent out there right now. And do you hear any more on Rick Nash, or is this going to go till December before he even makes a decision, possibly whether it's time to retire because of some of the concussion issues he has had, or is there talk that Rick Nash may be interested in signing eventually here come training camp or say in October or November?
Well, I would say this is still a huge unknown. And, as we're talking here, August 20th, Rick Nash has made no further, decisions one way or another, which, is notable in and of itself. He went into that free agent period at the end of June, talked to some teams. I believe he could have got deals in the neighborhood of 3-year deals, possibly $15 million or more on those contracts. So we're talking about significant interest in Rick Nash. And ever since he sort of backed off, nothing has remained resolved here. And I don't think I think it's a little premature maybe to start using the R word, the retirement, when it comes to Rick Nash. It is, quite notable with camps approaching that, his mindset hasn't changed any. I mean, there's teams out there that want him. He's the biggest name that remains around the league that's unsigned, but, he hasn't had a change of heart in terms of wanting to play right now. He and his wife are expecting a third child, young growing family, and given his injury history, as you mentioned there, Ken, I'm not sure that we're going to see this guy play in the NHL, and certainly he's not in a position just yet to decide one way or the other.
Well, I guess time will tell for Rick Nash, but good on him for taking the time that he needs to figure out if he is ready and willing to still play the game. Chris, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. You don't have much time left with that beard, my friend, so enjoy the rest of the summer.
Yeah, this beard and this golf shirt are both on borrowed time right now.
Oh, you need it for the winter, Chris.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.